Roy has been an afterthought this entire series, but that's about to change. When a Pokemon undergoes evolution, the change is both physical and mental, unlocking skills that previously seemed impossible. But when its trainer is the main reason behind its transformation, it means so much more. In the Ash era, man, I am still getting used to saying that, we are post-Ash. The soon-to-be champion traveled with countless Pokemon during their infancy, getting them ready for the journey ahead. We saw this with Ash and Chimchar, who had originally been abandoned by Paul, during a battle which had a crazy amount of switch-outs, leaving Ash with one Pokemon versus Paul's 5. The two still fought relentlessly as if the odds did not matter. And deservingly so. Soon after, we see Chimchar evolve into Monferno, but not without Ash as the catalyst. The greatness seen between the trainers and Pokemon of the past continues, but we've got some new faces. We first met Roy on an island in the Kanto region. Growing up, he was told stories about the legendary adventurer Lucas, which sparked his desire to be a trainer. Soon he'd cross paths with Liko and join the Rising Volt Tacklers as they travel around on an airship. Unlike Liko, they have been very vague with Roy's origin story. At the time of this video, all we really know is that Roy's birth parents are nowhere to be found, and he was primarily raised by his grandfather, who somehow obtained an ancient Pokeball that would be revealed to hold a shiny Rayquaza. Roy would unknowingly inherit this legendary, but Ray is far too much for Roy to handle. When the writers reveal Roy's origin story, I do fear it's going to be way more tragic than Liko's. If the hair didn't give it away, they did give him the Paldean starter for Coco, and they've been inseparable to this day. It wouldn't be until episode 14, as we see Roy catch his second Mon, Wattrel, who swiped his sandwich in the previous episode. Despite the thievery, the two did make a connection, and Roy can see that beyond the JoJo posing, this Wattrel is scared of heights. So he makes it his mission to get this flying type airbound, from jumping drills to a fishing pole hand crane inspired by the old man Lutlow, or otherwise known as All Might, depending how far you are in the series. Thanks to Roy's motivation and a random gust of wind, Wattrel takes flight. Now, I'm thinking this is a one-off, but the way Murdoch looked back, we know what time it was. As Wattrel struggles to fly back, at the last second, Roy throws the perfect curveball and dives right before it hit the water in one of the most wholesome moments of the series. But let's get to why y'all clicked on this video. Liko, Roy, and Dot are still doing their report on wild Pokemon. Last week was Liko, so Roy's up next. After seeing a wild Capsakid, his Rotom reveals that this Pokemon plays a major role in making some of the best traditional spicy Paldean cuisine. Curious to burn his taste buds off, Roy begins his research. Now, throughout this whole episode, we see Wattrel feel inadequate. Fuecoco, who is miles ahead in terms of battle experience, easily can farm berries from trees when it should be no problem for a flying type. Then during a late night rehearsal, we get a special appearance from Rhyme in her Houndstone. Despite the Darkrai type buildup, this was random. I'm not sure if Liko, Roy, and Dot are anywhere close to Montenevera, but she doesn't leave without giving Roy and his Wattrel some pretty good advice. I would love to know how y'all thought she delivered it, going a cappella.
Now listen! That's called bars, you know nothing about that!
Never have I been so anticipated for an English dub until we got this episode. I cannot wait to hear this rap in English. But let's get back to Roy. His opportunity finally comes as Capsakid gets stuck between a waterfall and certain death. This stubborn Pokemon refuses help, then shoots its special ingredient at Roy, who, to my surprise, just eats it up. Not gonna lie, this was gross. But one thing about our dual protagonist, he is persistent. Even with a bruised finger, Roy smiles through the pain, seeing the bigger picture, which is to get this Capsakid to safety. And Wattrel manages to do so. But can it double back and save Roy? At this moment, height and weight alone makes this impossible for Wattrel. Seeing a Pokemon risk it all for their trainer in a clear no-win situation is the build-up to some of the best scenes in the Pokemon anime. and Horizons does not disappoint. So watching Wattrel evolve into Kilowattrel mid-flight cements this as the best Roy-focused episode of the series so far. It's unanimous amongst the fan base. Roy has been in Liko's shadow for the longest. So when we get a Roy-focused episode that's not a sing-along and something actually happens, it's cause for celebration. The fact that Fuecoco didn't evolve first, that's another conversation for another video. Let's just enjoy this moment. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.